Everyone wants to stand out and get noticed, and today we're going to talk about how you can do that. Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake helping you create something awesome today. One of the questions I get thrown at me by you guys the most is, how do you stand out? Especially if you're going into a niche or a market or a platform that's really saturated. There's a million people doing whatever it is that you're doing. I get why this could be rough for a lot of people, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or whatever platform they're playing in, or whatever industry you're playing in. I hear this from freelancers all the time. One of the most important things you can do to stand out is to have a unique visual style, something that sets you apart immediately when people look at you and they look at a competitor. There's a saying that goes, different is better than better, and it's absolutely true. When we can see a distinctive difference between one thing and another, that's called contrast. This is a principle in graphic design and photography, and contrast is important because something that gets too much the same is boring. If you do exactly what everybody else is doing, then how are you any different, and why wouldn't we just go with the more established version of whatever you're doing? Because it's the same thing, right? In YouTube and social media, one of the things I see all the time is people complaining that they can't make it and that no one's giving them a chance, especially because they're a smaller creator or they're a young influencer and nobody's giving them the time of day. And if someone would just pay attention to them and someone would just give them a shot, then they'd see how amazing they are. And I'll be very real with you. I'll be very blunt about this. That's not the problem, and nobody owes that to you. The problem is that you're copying or you're making yourself too similar to people who already have other advantages against you because they've been there longer, they're established, they have more credibility, they're better connected, whatever it is. You cannot do exactly the same thing as somebody who's already ahead of you in the game and expect to get anywhere. Because why would we take a chance on you versus the certainty that we have with them? You're not offering us anything different, so why not go with the more established thing? Why not go with what we know? You're asking a lot. But Roberto, it's the thing that I want to do, or it's the only thing that I'm good at, so I can't do something that's less competitive. I'm not telling you to do something that's less competitive. I'm telling you that you cannot compete in the same way as that other person, and that you have to have a competitive advantage. You have to have a unique advantage, and in many cases, the good news is it could just be about style and presentation and aesthetic, and I would also say it could be about the experience that you can create one way or another. Even when someone does similar content or covers the same topics as me, there are a couple of things that stand out a lot of times. One, I have higher production values visually than a lot of people that do similar content to me. Lately, I've also been shooting in 4K. It may not seem like a big deal, but that extra, just a little bit of something different sometimes goes a long way. And when it comes to YouTube in particular, it also does tagging for 4K videos and does a slight promotion bump. So there's that part. There's the fact that I close caption the majority of my content. That's an advantage if someone cares about that, or if they think that that's a cool little extra. So there's that part of the things that immediately, when someone looks at me, they're seeing something different. When you want to take this further with regard to your photography or your video or even your podcast, it comes down to your branding, your color schemes, your typography, the way that you edit. With regard to Instagram, it's the way that you edit your photos and use filters or color. With regard to your video production and filmmaking, it's your color grading sometimes. Or it's the pacing of your editing style. So that look, that feel, that experience is very different. And then in terms of how you make people feel, maybe you're the person in your niche who's the most engaged. So I feel that making yourself unique is not as difficult as you guys are thinking. You're mistaking the difference between being original, doing something no one's ever thought of, which no one may want, versus actually doing something unique, which is doing something that's been done, but not doing it the same way, putting a unique spin on it, putting unique packaging on it, putting a unique feel or flavor on it. And this is something that many of you could do if you just step back a little bit and you really thought about what in your personality and what in your characteristics you can translate to something that is either visual or is about the experience. With regard to podcasting, because of the fact that it's primarily audio, if you did a podcast that was live to tape, live stream video, or video interviews and then audio, you'd have something different and unique that many of the people in your niche or thing might not have, because the majority of people doing podcasts are going audio only. If you become the guy or gal who does a video podcast, you stand out, you win. If you become the person in your niche where everybody in your niche is doing photography only in Instagram, and you did either animation or video more or almost exclusively, then you'd have something that's immediately recognizable as different the minute we look at you, the minute we see you. So I feel that visual branding is one of the biggest things you can do to stand out, because we do judge books by their cover. Someone should be able to look at your content, look at your brand, and immediately recognize you, and it be memorable and it be distinct. I feel that there are many of you who are looking at brands and companies on the internet, and even if their logo wasn't there, even if the person's face wasn't there, you would know it's them. And if you think about how you can do that for your brand, I think that it goes a long way towards you standing out from the crowd and crushing it. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video on personal branding. I hope you guys will take your visual style and your aesthetic into consideration, because it really could grow your personal brand and it could help you stand out from your competition. Be sure to check out my playlist with more tips on personal branding. I'm gonna link it up here in the info card, and make sure you're checking out just like pretty much everything on the channel. If you're someone who's trying to market themselves, put themselves out there, it's not just about YouTube, it's not just about Instagram, it's not just about podcasting. It's about building your own mini media empire, and I'm gonna help you do it. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome stuff here on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so very much for watching, and don't forget, go out there and create something awesome today. Take care.